Hello, Masters. Hello, everyone. So, welcome to day 23. So, today I would like to share about Yasodhara Mata, so who is none other than Buddha's wife. However, today when I share about her, her story was something that which has deeply touched my heart, and of course, which has deeply touched, like many of the women lives, and maybe every one of you might know, but how she have gone through, how she came out of her suffering, being as a, like the queen as well, how she went through and how she came out, and how she came out as the awakened one, being in the middle path. This is all what that we will be knowing today. And let me go to a bit of her background. So she was born into the Sakya clan, and she was born to King Shupabuddha, and her mother is Pamita. And she was the king, she was the sister, like Pamita is the sister of King Shuddhodana. Shuddhodana is nothing but the Buddha's father. And so, which means Yashodhara and Siddhartha were cousins. And of course, and it's a common practice in royal lineages, and of course, in various parts of India as well, to marry the cousins. I mean, yeah, the sisters' children. And Yashoda was also like Yashoda have given the birth to Rahula. And just when Siddhartha left the palace to begin his path to enlightenment, I believe every one of you know about the Buddha's life story, a little bit of how he was in quest to know how to end the suffering. That's where he left the palace and he went in the quest to find all the answers. And this story reflects like what I share about Yashoda Mata, Yashodhara, is how she have gone through the pain when Buddha have left the palace without informing to everyone. So this is what a little bit of background of what has happened. And before we understand about her, there has been many stories which has been mentioned that Yashodhara appeared many times alongside Siddhartha in his earlier incarnations, and in majority or in almost all the lifetimes they had a, like she was a faithful companion or a devoted partner and helping him on his journey toward Buddhahood. So, and it has been also mentioned in the book which is with the goddess circle kind of book. I think I don't remember the name. So in this book also it has been mentioned that there has been an agreement of how they become enlightened through the separation. So in that lifetime they have chosen that separation so that they both get enlightened. So that is also one of the karmic agreement that the soul contract, yeah, the soul contract that they have taken, and it has mentioned in Thousand Seeds of Joy. Thanks a lot, Meera, for mentioning. So yes, and as I said, today is really like a moving personal story about the life of Yashodhara, where we can relate to the path of awakening. And this story is about the enlightenment, the hidden pathway of awakening, not only herself, but along with the circle, along with the community, the awakening happened. So, this is what her importance is about. For example, the Buddha's step was to go forth alone, to face the inner world of suffering with awareness. Whereas Yashodhara's step was into relationship, to share and to awaken everyone, like everyone who are with her. So this story also says that we are not alone in suffering. Everything is momentary, and this too shall pass. But when the suffering is there, how we bounce back, how we commit to ourselves, the way how we speak to ourselves, and the way how we come back is all about everything. So, and also one needs to understand when we learn about this wisdom, when we understand today about this shared circle, the shared path also was never easy. However, it was always fruitful. And the overall essence is that living into our connectedness is what heals and empowers. So here, Yashodhara's path of freedom, aliveness, spaciousness within relationship, and how she came out between attachment and how she learned detachment is all about. And especially now in these auspicious times of great change and uncertainty, her path provides a way to move from suffering in isolation in building true community, healing, wisdom, and service. We believe that living together in such a way, in the fullest sense, means is healing and even transformative. So that's why, for example, the Buddha story is the one who goes forth, but her story, Yashodhara, is the one, she who stays, and then they go who fought together. So these both are the resemblances of the path of awakening. So one started getting enlightened alone, and the other in the deepening of the relationship. So together they form a complementary path, and that's where we have to see the unity in them. And relationships are the heart of our lives. So this is where we will be understanding now of how what she have gone through. So and before I start her story, there was one last lines where Yashodhara Ma said also that sometimes you need to see the light of others to see the way. And sometimes you should become the light for others. And always the light will shine more brightly when two or more are gathered in spirit. And every doorway opens the path. How we speak the truth is important, and everything is important. And there is no right door or right way. It's all just we have to try it out. And sometimes in the dark moments, we need to find our own way or to lead the way alone. That's where the Sangha will born. And the Sangha is born in the release of the self. And the Sangha is embracing the we. I dissolve in the Sangha. And the shift should go into the we consciousness. And that's where the beautiful Sangha will form. Even when we are in the Sangha, if there is I, then that's where the things will go wrong. So now let me start with her story about of how she started with her pain. So one day when Siddhartha have left the palace, like Yashodhara awoke to an empty bed, just giving birth to Rahula. And she got devastated because she just gave the birth to Rahula, and then she came to know that Gautam Siddhartha have left the palace, and she was engulfed in raw grief, confusion, anger, and profound isolation, feeling abandoned and publicly vulnerable. And the place also around her reeled, like her father-in-law, who is the king Shuddhodana, and her aunt Mahapajapati, and even Chana, who is Siddhartha's servant, shared in this collective suffering because everyone don't want Gautama to leave the palace. And she have seen him like just before Gautama have left the palace. Yashodhara have seen him how he was restless for the past 2 weeks, and also and Siddhartha asked the king the permission to leave and to follow the path of the monk. Yeah, and his father has refused. So she tried to calm herself, and Yashodhara thought of the depth and passion of their love and friendship. Under ripe conditions, this ordinary path has extraordinary power to sustain their lives and can lead towards enlightenment. But out of stillness came a voice from within to Yashodhara that until we agree to be with suffering, to be with ourselves and each other in suffering, we cannot be free of suffering. So, until we surrender to this state and go through it, then we cannot be free of suffering. That's the thing. And for the first time in her life, she was torn between the life and death, between no living, walking with the living, or joining the dead. And her dark feelings like shame, shock, fear, abandonment, rage, everything have piled up, and it has replaced all the sweeter moments or the gentle moments of her former life. And she felt a raw humiliation, and her pride has been deeply wounded because she was unable to know like why she have left. And then she started to question herself like where she have gone wrong. And how could he leave without informing her when there is so much of love between them? How can he leave his son and go? Is she too understanding? Is she too giving? And is she not strong enough? And is she not supporting him in every action? So she was continuously thinking like, how can he do this to me? And continuously she was sharing this kind of questions to the Chenna, to her, the Siddhartha's servant. And Chenna just stood there before her, and his solid body seeming to wither under these conditions, but still he said nothing. So every day her pain is increasing. Every day she was questioning the same. And every day, like, these people are listening with out of utmost compassion. So one day, Pajapati, the foster mother of Buddha, seeing all this, came close to Yashodhara, and she said that, and she just came to Yashodhara, and Yashodhara said that she cannot live without Siddhartha, and felt she is no longer existing. However, Pajapati didn't give up, and she replied that she will get out of this grief and said her to stay close with them, no, close to their circle. So Pajapati already have a circle of compassion by that time, and seeing Yashodhara's unbearable pain, so Maha Pajapati Gautami, who had experienced her own profound losses, gathered placed women around Yashodhara. She placed like in a circle. So they used to gather twice in a day. So the first one is for the prayers, and the second one in the day, like which is the evening, is to give thanks to all gods for their daily care. And this circle is a very intimate circle, so they offer their presence by just being there, and they silently witness by listening to others without their chanting in the brain or through their own understanding that this is correct or this is wrong. So they were just compassionate. They started to be more compassionate, and they have incorporated that compassionate listening into that circle, and they have been uplifting each other spiritually as well. And this evolving Sangha style circle became her refuge of trust and empathy. So that's where she used to sit in the circle of compassion 2 times a day. And that's where she came out of the pain slowly and slowly after many times of weeping with all the people around. So, here, the heart of each person opening, becoming a channel of that compassion, and the whole circle infused with it is available to all. So, they listened, they just listened without any sort of judgments. And there is no question and there is no finger pointing. They have completely silenced their mind to listen. This is one thing which is very important, masters. Even us, like among us, so many of us goes through so many problems, or like so much of suffering also will happen, but how we are listening to others, that's what matters. Like absolute no finger pointing, and how we have to silence the mind when we are listening to other people problems. And that's where this circle of compassion have taught to all of us of how we should be, how we need to listen without any judgments, without any questions. So slowly and slowly, she started to feel the immense power by entering into the circle of compassion. And slowly she understood the power of circle that had created to support her doing this, and the power of Yashodhara's emerging relationship also with her son now substantially increased. And one day, King Shuddhodana have sent her messages to meet him. And when she met the king, he said her to marry again. However, deep down she got healed, but she completely know that she is still in love with Siddhartha. So to replace Siddhartha, and like the king asked in a way so that Rahula also will have a father. But since she know that she is still in love, and now after getting healed, she began her journey in a spiritual partnership with Siddhartha, so she refused. And she continued in her sharings. So slowly she gained back to her grace and gained profound wisdom by learning others' experiences too, and by listening to other people's experiences. And this is what a Sajjana Sangatya is all about. So we have to keep listening to other people's experiences. And the healing of the heart was in the mutual sharing of our story with that of others in dialogue. And the circle of women have established a way of sitting with, breathing with, listening, and responding with, entering deeply into connection and letting go of old ideas and images, and truly evolving as a new person, like by releasing the ideas of separation, and they just embraced in the field of compassion. And one day Buddha have returned to the palace. I mean, he got enlightened, and by this time he has got many followers, and he was in the uh, orange color robes, yeah. And one day he have returned to the palace just to see all of them. So he came along with four other monks in white robes, and Shuddhodana felt a surge of shame seeing his son holding a wooden begging bowl in his hand. And finally, he saw Yashodhara as well. And the moment I mean, this time when he came to palace, he's not Siddhartha, he has become a Buddha. So when Buddha have seen Yashodhara, he have felt the depth of her suffering, because he does not know. He went in his quest to end the suffering, yeah, but he does not know what she is going through. Flashes of feeling her own, and then the compassion of all suffering, and images of the past came up to surface, and the restless tormented sensual lover and husband. I mean, this all came for Yashodhara. And for a moment she thought that he is no longer her husband, and both of them stood in silence like an endless and timeless moment. A single tear flowed slowly down the Buddha's cheek, but then they eventually realized what are their paths, and then she have felt liberated in that particular moment. And Buddha suggested that the wholehearted effort was necessary on the path of awakening, and that the greatest step to end the suffering was to let go of attachments. While Buddha says, like when we think of Buddha, we say like the awakened one. However, when we think of Yashodhara, we say the awakened we, because they all have grown together in the circle, and that's where the community is all about. So her story says that suffering at our core can lead us to connection and understanding. And we all should have that circles, and the compassionate circles. And what do we gain from these circles is like, one thing is we will gain the life gist, we will empower each other, and we will learn from each other, and we increase the sense of worthiness. We know where we stand, and we have to work out on our own salvation with diligence, and we should be the light into ourselves. And sometimes we need to be the light for others. Sharing your light with others brightens the path for all. Oh, this is the beautiful story, masters. And then she followed also the path of Buddha, like teaching and spreading the meditation, but in their circle. So that's where how they have formed the compassionate circle, and how they came out to this. This is what we all understand from this story. I think this is also one of the important book of, where we came to know about her more deeper. So I believe every one of you might be having this one. It's The Buddha's Wife, if you can see it. It is written by Janet Surrey and Samuel Shame. Um, so it's such a wonderful book, masters. If anyone haven't read, please do read it. So it shows like, you know, when Gautama Siddhartha have left the palace, how she have went through, because especially the society, everyone, although like she have the compassionate people around her, the understanding people around her, still how the society keep blaming, and how she came back, and how again the circle of the women, like she have grown being together. She did not went into isolation. Yeah, sh- in the togetherness they evolve. That's where we all should become as well. In the moments of pain, in the moments of sorrow, how we are speaking to ourselves, how we are nurturing ourselves, where do we think that we stand? And many of the times we think, we don't want to see anybody, we just want to be alone. But that's not the thing. We have to find that compassionate intimate circles. That intimate circles are really important, where there is no judgment, and absolutely compassionate listening is developed there. And find that circles and be part of those circles, and evolve together. Evolve in the sense like the wisdom is the utmost importance. Like when there is wisdom, then all else will fall apart slowly. So Yashodhara's thing represents like the quiet and the enduring spiritual force that often goes unrecognized, but she embodies the detachment without resentment, and the love without possession, and wisdom without display. So this is what we all need to understand, how she have learned. See, for example, Buddha have gained, like got enlightenment in when he left the palace. But Yashodhara got enlightenment when she followed the perfect middle path, like in the palace itself she got. So which means clearly that in order to get enlightened, one does not need to go anywhere else. Everything we have is with us. Only thing is, we just need to have that idea of going deep within. And that's where we all should think about. So, with this, I would like to stop here. So, thanks a lot, Masters, for listening. And let's start our meditation journey now. Thank you, Dakshaji. Yeah. So, I request all of you to please close your eyes. Clasp your hands and cross your legs. Gently be with your normal, natural breath. Just the normal, natural, soft, easy, tender breath. So, everything is inside. We just have to turn inward to understand ourselves. And remember my word that you are beautiful. You are pure. And you are the soul. Drop the ego consciousness, which is the I, and move into the we consciousness. So just be with your breath with the help of the music. Let's go to the deeper and the deeper states. Just 2 more minutes. Be in complete silence in the last 2 minutes. Be with total awareness. Become the one with your breath. Final 1 minute. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Slowly place your hands over your eyes. Once you're ready, You may remove your hands and you may open your eyes. And drink plenty of water once you open your eyes. Thanks a lot, Masters. Thank you so much. As I said, when we think of Yasodhara, it's all about the compassionate circle and the self-love, how you work on yourself. So this is what her story resembles about. So if anyone wanted to share, please, you may raise your hand so that we can unmute you. Then if not, thanks a lot, Masters, and let's connect back with tomorrow's session. Thank you all. Have a lovely night. Namaste. Thank you.